Hi there, I've got a new lens. Yep, it's a 420 to 800mm telephoto zoom. Chinese made, and is it any good? Let's take a look. So I'm off down our lane for an early morning walk, and for once it's not raining, so we'll be putting this lens through its paces. Good morning. It is a lovely morning. Windy, and it's going to get a lot worse later, but I'll be back home by then, hopefully. Sticking out the back of my head is one of these 400 to 800mm telephoto zoom lenses. Yep, at the extremely fast aperture of f8, and when you zoom it right out to 800, f16. That's why I've got this big tripod with me, because it's not very practical to hand hold, to be honest. Did a couple of test shots yesterday, they seemed fine. So, right, I thought I'd bring it down here. Maybe I can capture some wildlife, you never know, or any distant scenes. I soon discovered just how tricky this lens is to use. The main issue being its locking collar. There's also, as mentioned, quite a strong gusty breeze this morning. Anyway, I get set up. Spotting a pair of geese, and at the 800mm end of the lens, I try to focus on them. It's all manual, of course. By the way, this lens is manual everything. The geese are out there again. Right, boom. Then you have to lock it, like so. If you don't lock it hard, yeah. Right, and it really needs this plate. It really needs this plate here. Let me photograph these. Where are they? Where are you guys? Yep, there they are. It's not the ideal lens for wildlife, unless of course they're nailed down. The locking collar is the one real bugbear, as if it's not very tight, you cannot focus, it just turns the whole barrel. Well guys, if you buy one of these, you'll have some fun with it. You may even end up swearing at it. Okay, let's try it. Then you have to lock it again. Zoom in, lock. Zoom out, lock. That's the mantra really for this lens. And no, it won't focus unless it's really well and truly locked, otherwise the barrel just turns. 2-second time, exposure. Why the hell didn't I lash that strap down? I'll never know. Not bad. One feature of this lens is very low contrast. Geese are back in the river again, in view, but they are a long, long way away. I would say 200-300 metres. Ah, there they go. There they go. Come on, guys, hurry up. Look at a bit. I got the last one just before it went round the bend, which is clearly what I am. Right round the bend. I said to my wife I'll be back by 8 o'clock probably. I'll bring coffee up. That might happen. It's 7:15 nearly. Oh, an egret comes into view, and I hope it takes flight. Yeah. I'm just leaving that running for a moment. And wow, it does. Brilliant. In 4K. Although looking at the footage you may never believe it, so I'm not sure I nailed the focus properly. But yeah, the light has got a long way to travel down this huge long lens. I'm not sure how long it is. It's got to be when fully zoomed out with the T2 FX mount as well. It's got to be about, well, it's way over a foot, I think. As I begin to head back, I grab a couple of shots of this guy with his dog. Yep, I'm looking forward to a coffee and breakfast. Oh, looking forward to seeing what the results are going to be like. Should be fun. Anyway, we'll have a closer look at the lens when I get back. Branded Andoer is supplied with a lens cap, Canon EOS adapter, instructions and a carry bag too. So it's all metal construction with an aperture that only changes as you zoom in and out from f8.3 to f16. T2 adapters are available for most camera makes. A mini Allen key is supplied with it. I already had one for my Helios lenses, so that was fine. Fully unscrewing the lock open ring separates the two halves, and it is this ring that at least on my lens is a real issue, certainly for speed of use. Every time you change focal length, this collar has to be loosened and then firmly tightened back again. It's the worst feature of this lens by a country mile. The tripod collar has to be really tight too. Ditto for the tripod plate as well. Yep, it certainly is lengthy. On my Fuji X-T3, in the button dial setting, I've set it for shoot without lens. Of course, there's no electrical connectivity between this camera and the lens, so indoors out of the wind, let's shoot a flower at 800mm. Then at 420mm. That's not bad at all. Now a side-by-side comparison with my Fujinon 70-300 at 300mm. You can see, as expected, the Fuji is sharper. Back to the big zoom. Again, it's quite impressive. Next I shoot a trio of tulips, using the monitor to check focus, and of course a 2-second timer to avoid camera shake. Also I'm using electronic shutter, not that there's a mirror to slap down and cause blur of course. Wow, I'm quite impressed. These are all JPEGs out of the camera and not enhanced except where mentioned. So indoors again, I focus on a birthday card. Very nice. Now an unfair comparison with my 70-300, again at 300mm. Yep, I can see that sharper, thank goodness. Now at 800mm, slightly soft but not bad. Next a couple of shots from an attic window. The purple fringe of chromatic aberration rears its head, but I've seen much worse. Now I've warmed it up and increased contrast for an improved image. The background's sharper than me, clearly. Well, I hope you found that interesting with this lens. It's not the best quality, obviously not, and for the money you don't expect it to be. And no way, of course, will it stack up against the Fuji's 70-300. They are miles apart in quality. But that's not the point really. I mean, well, I may have mentioned earlier, this on a Fuji X-T3 on an APS censored camera like the Fuji is not 400 to 800. It's more 600 to 1200mm at the 800mm end, and that's really partly because of the T2 adapter mount, which is needed to couple this to the Fuji and any other camera you want to use it with. Because when bolted onto a full frame camera, it will produce 420mm to 800. But on the APS sensor, Fuji and other APS sensor cameras, you have got one awesome long zoom. The quality, no, it's not great obviously, but it's not bad. It isn't bad if you can nail the focus. Don't take it out on windy days. Hand holding it, you'd be very lucky, but if you've got better eyesight than me, fine. But anyway folks, I hope you enjoyed it, and I shall say sayonara for now. It's a Chinese make, Nigel, not Japanese. So you may want to rush out and buy one. So there we go. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more silly videos like this, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.